So I think we've teased it enough.
There we go.
We're talking the trenches today, and we're talking D-line. And given some of the departures last year, like Chris Jenkins and others, this D-line especially with Mason Graham, who was fourth in the entire country last year. He had 90 Pro Football Focus. And there are actually people projecting him to go first in the draft. Now, I think that's pretty high for a DL, but still, if anybody's saying he's first in the draft, that's pretty crazy for an interior defensive lineman. I think he'll probably go top 10, top 15, but still, anywhere in that top is pretty great for an interior D lineman. And then Kenneth Grant, obviously, 32nd in the country, the big fella with an 80.4, but that's not all, folks, because you've also got Josiah Stewart and Derek Moore on the edges. So with these four, TJ, I'll start with you. Do you think this could become the strongest front four in Michigan history?
It's a great question because the only line that I would argue would be that 2016 line with Chase Winovich, Rashawn Gary, Maurice Hurst, and then I think Brian Monet might have been a part of that as well, a couple others. But this defensive line should be a damn problem for everybody because I fully expect Derek Moore to take another step up, Josiah Stewart another year in the playbook, and we know what Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham are, the best defensive tackle duo in the nation. This very well could be the best defensive line in Michigan history. It very well could. It's up to Derek Moore and Josiah Stewart to take it to that next level. And guess what? With Wink Martindale, it very well may. And another thing, Jayshawn Barham is going to be blitzing the quarterback. He's going to be playing the Sam role. We may very well get that sack production, with Wink Martindale at the helm. So it could be, John. It really could be. It has that potential.
I mean, and what you're saying is crazy because we lost. Okay, so we lost Chris Jenkins, we lost Junior Colson, who else? Jalen Harrell, Michael Barrett. I mean, we lost a ton of players, and we could be better than that last year. I mean, Jayshawn Barnum. What I like about this concept of you've got Grant and Graham and attention there. Does that allow Barham to do his thing in a way that he's not that he couldn't before in his career?
Exactly. A defensive tackle is a linebacker's best friend because they take on the block and they allow the linebacker to do his job and handle his responsibility. I mean, listen, Chris Jenkins was a good player, but he wasn't our best player. Okay. And we have both of our starting defensive tackles and starting edges back this year. So what we lost was more role. Junior Colson was obviously a key figure in our defense, but Jayshawn Barham may be an upgrade. Michael Barrett was a very good player, but Ernest Hausman may be an upgrade. Will Johnson's
he was basically 1B too. Hausman was getting so many reps. I call him 1B.
Notes here. I'm just looking. He was in 15 games last year, so he was in all.
Yeah, I mean,
so yeah,
so as the defense as a whole, absolutely, it very well may be a better team, which is crazy. But at the end, the thing is too is what we're going to get into is these are the starters. Wait till we get into the depth pieces because I think this four here has the potential to be the best defensive line in Michigan history, and we're going to find out. I mean, I really, Josh Preby has said it is a handful to try and deal with Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham. It is extremely difficult to battle that in practice. So we're going to find out. It's up to Josiah Stewart and Derek Moore to take it to the next level, as well as another player, which we're going to hit on with our next, right here, TJ Guy. So TJ Guy, for anybody, again, getting familiar with the roster, getting ready, getting prepped and primed for the season that's about to be coming, TJ Guy is the next name to know. We have been on the TJ Guy hype train since March. We've been all over that, and we have not let you down because all accounts out of camp, and this is one of the names I did not hit on, he is showing out. He's looking great. Shermore even doubled down on that today, even though I got some intel last week about how well he was doing. I was unable to be on the show. But TJ TJ Guy's playing great. Now Etta is also transitioning to the 3 tech position. He has been playing well. So you are going to see, and this is the depth I was talking about. You are going to see that rotation. Now, and this is something me and John talked about, and Ferris, we talked about before the show. Are we going to see the same rotation with Wink Martindale that we saw with Jesse Minter? Is he really going to rotate 4 defensive linemen? And obviously, that comes down to, do you have the talent to do so? Well, it does appear that we have 4 defensive tackles between Enow Etta, Rayshawn Benny, Kenneth Grant, and Mason Graham to keep a healthy rotation and keep guys fresh. Well, on the edges, we also have Josiah Stewart and Derek Moore, as well as TJ Guy. And they're also talking about substituting Jay Sean Barham in that Sam role, which will also help alleviate. But another name I want to mention that we haven't mentioned yet, and this is another freshman that Sharon Moore was talking about, is Dominic Nichols. Dominic Nichols apparently has been looking very good in camp, and Sharon Moore said today that he feels like Dominic Nichols may have a role this year on the defensive line. And if that is the case, I count a 7-man rotation, and that 7-man rotation should be pretty deadly. Another name we're not mentioning is Keyshawn Bennett. Now, I haven't heard too much out of camp, but I do know he was in the running to be in the rotation. So at the end of the, by all accounts, like I've stated, the depth seems to be better than we anticipated, which is great. Guys are really showing up in camp. We've all seen the weight gain. We hit on that 2 weeks ago, the weight gain coming into camp. Guys look stronger. They're faster. Wink Martindale has said repeatedly, we have a lot of talent. This defense is good. They feel damn good about this defense, man. So it's great to see. It's what we all kind of expected, but it may be a little better than we expected too.
And before you go, Ferris, Moose agrees with you. $5. I agree, TJ. I believe this defense could be better than last year. Ferris, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy to think that 15-0 team, but yeah, you guys are convincing me. So first thing I'll say is that we have what I call a 9+3 season. We have 9 games which we should win,
Right.
and then we have 3 games that we need to win 1 out of those. We need to run the table on those 9, and then we need to go 1-2 on those other 3 games. I'm just being practical in terms of what it's going to take to make it to the playoffs. If we don't run the table on those 9, we're going to need to win 2 out of those 3 games. That's the way I look at it. So defensive philosophy is a question mark. If there's going to be a rotation, this sounds fantastic. I think, going back to what I said a second ago, for those 9 games, let's get playing time, but let's still have a high level of production, right? For the other 3 games, conditioning for the starters, for the most part. I really hope Will Johnson does not get hurt.
Whoa,
I mean, that is so important. I do not want injuries. He is so important. He can cover half the field, so to speak, and then everything looks good. And yeah, there's a good chance of the team being better than last year on defense. So one other note about 5 stars versus 4 stars versus 3 stars. You can see here, because of the rotation that Michigan has, they are looking for players who are unselfish and smart. So you can't have penalties. You can't miss assignments. You may be called in to do in a super huge play to make a play, and then you're out of the game in the next play, and then you might be back a few plays later. Michigan players have to be different than players in other teams if Wink Martindale is going to do that heavy rotation, which I love. I love the idea of being fresh on defense.
Let guys rest,
in the 3rd and 4th.
and you have the depth to what I love, and we'll get to Moose's super chat to you, Ferris. What I love is just the whole idea of ironing, sharpening iron. So you've got Will Johnson going up against Tyler Morris, and they are just battling it out in practice, right? You've got the O-line, the D-line going up against each other. You've got, I think, Michigan's defense is the best defense Michigan's offense will face until probably Ohio State. Michigan's offense is the best offense that Michigan's defense will face until USC, but still pretty. I mean, I'd probably go a couple of games.
Wait.
So
what about Texas?
Oh shit, Texas. Sorry, Texas and then USC. But the bottom line is, my point is that this is really awesome to see, that there are days that the offense is actually beating the defense in camp. Not all the time, just once or twice it's happened, but it's still good news because it means the offense might actually be potent against really good defenses. So love the iron sharpening iron.
Definitely. Yeah, three more names I want to hit on, but let's get to Moose's super chat, John. So
Yeah.
Moose says, Ferris, I believe Michigan could win 9 games with our D alone. Very well could. I mean, we saw that in 2021, where our defense basically carried that team. You know, offense did some things here and there, but the defense was really the reason why we made the run we ran. But yeah, this again, I think we're going to see another year. We just have a tough schedule, but I think you're going to see another year where this defense really is the anchor to the team, and it's up to the offense to match that. And then if they can match that, then look out. We're in for another strong year, another Big Ten contender, and hopefully a good long playoff run, if not a repeat in the Natty. But three more names I want to hit on just so people are at least familiar with these. So two more names. So currently we have about what I think is a potential 8-man rotation with the names that I've mentioned. But two more names to keep an eye on is Trey Pierce, who's also playing nose tackle. He's a name to look out for. And then Cameron Brandt is another name that I would at least be aware of. You could see him maybe make his way into the rotation. And that is a lot of names. And then maybe some people are like, well, what about Brooks Barr? What's going on with him? So Brooks Barr has actually transitioned from defensive line to inside offensive line. He's going to be likely playing the guard position. So he's no longer playing on the defensive line. But at the end of the day, the defensive line seems very healthy. There are some, and just so you know, there are some highly ranked recruits, some strong recruits we're not even talking about yet because they're simply freshmen. Michigan's defensive line is in a great place for years to come, and we should have a very dominant season with that bunch.
Yeah. Back to Moose's point, just real quick. Like I said, a 9+3 season. We've got to run the table on those 9 games. Hopefully, we will. I really like the idea that we're not going to play. I don't think we're going to mess around in that first game, night game. I wish it was Harbaugh that was there, but Harbaugh's parents, okay. We're not going to mess around. We're gonna win that game, and we're going to win it handily. I would have taken the under. I don't bet on things I can't control, but if I did, I would have taken the under in that first game. I changed my mind on that. I think Orgy has a lot to prove. The entire team does. On a night game where all the attention will still be on them because the book coming out, the Connor Stallions, everything's all happening all together at the end of August. So I think that first game is going to give them momentum for that second game, and then the other 2 big games are spread out. So they need to have a plan for the 9 games they should win, and then they need to have kind of an upgraded plan for those other 3 games. And it's nice that they are spread out. They'll have a break in between.
Yeah,
I've just launched a poll to ask the chat what you think. Do you think that the 2024 Michigan defense could actually outdo the 2023 national championship defense? And we're going to find out what the community thinks.
Yeah, great question, John.
Absolutely. Let's get to the X Factor sleeper and bold prediction for D-line. TJ, who you got?
All right. So I actually feel like we're going to have a lot of similar answers here. I'm interested to see if there's any diversity in our responses, but X Factor, it's Mason Graham. He's projected possibly as the #1 overall pick in 2025 NFL draft. He is a difference maker. He's a game changer. He's a game wrecker. Mason Graham is without question my X Factor. My sleeper, and I'm going to be honest, I slightly cheated here. I have 2. And the reason why I have 2 is because I don't know if this one's even a sleeper with all the hype he's getting. My first one is TJ Guy. TJ Guy is the sleeper. He's the name to know. He's next up. He will be the next dominant defensive lineman to come out of the University of Michigan. And the other one that I'm going to throw, and maybe I shouldn't do this because I might be stealing some thunder here, is Enow Etta. I think Enow Etta is going to have a very good season. He was another top 100 ranked recruit, big time player out of Texas. He's like 290 something right now. He's a monster. Enow Etta is going to be a problem this year. I do believe that. And then my bold prediction we are going to have 2 defensive linemen in the first round of the 2025 NFL
Whoa.
draft, Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. We're doing it.
I like it.
All right. So X Factor. I am going to go. You said Mason Graham, right? I'm going with Kenneth
Yeah.
Grant. Right. So
There you go. I thought about it.
there's going to be that highlight reel play. Maybe we'll have something that we use for the whole year next year, whole off season next year for Kenneth Grant. So in terms of sleeper, Trey Pierce wasn't mentioned, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And I believe, is he just a sophomore? That's what I have in my notes.
I think so.
Yeah. He started he played in a lot of games, I should say, last year. So let's go there. I'm going to go with that. And in terms of bold prediction, so I track games in terms of the number of games that players get in. In terms of playing time. So it's not just who are the starters, who are the backups. I'm thinking that there will be 5 players that get in all 15 games that are not starters. 5 additional defensive linemen.
So a 9-man rotation.
Well, there's going to be. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say 15? I should ratchet it down. We only have 12 games, right? So let's say 10 games out of 10 games.
I think we got 15.
Oh well, okay.
We're gonna make a run in the playoffs.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not counting that. I mean, out of the 12 games, let's say 10. Out of the big 3, they'll get a little bit of time, but in the other games, they'll get time. So I'm gonna say that there'll be 5 additional defensive linemen that will get in to at least 10 games each.
Okay.
Ooh,
No,
yeah, I can see it.
10 additional games. That's interesting. Are we going to count Jay Shaw? If Jay Sean Barham goes to Sam, does that count as one of your 5?
I consider him a star. I consider him.
Well, because
I'm talking about non-star, players that are clearly not starters. So
Rayshon Benny, TJ Guy, Inaueta.
Yeah. Trey Pierce. Hood.
Or Dominic Nichols. Dominic Nichols would be 5. Hood's a linebacker.
Okay.
No, that'd be your 5 though. That'd be 5. Dominic Nick. If Trey Pierce makes it in 10 games, so TJ
Trey
Guy,
Pierce. Yeah. Okay.
That'd be 5. That'd be 5. I mean, that's a solid 5. I think that's not a bad. That's actually not a bad call there. That's possible.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this. Jay Marion actually nailed mine. So congrats to Jay Marion for completely nailing what I was going to say. So I'm just throwing it up on screen. Mason Graham was my X factor. Absolutely. I think he's like, the fact that anyone is seriously saying he could be top 5 in the draft, that never happens for an interior. There was somebody saying number 1 for interior O-line. So Mason Graham, TJ Guy, sleeper. I would also throw. I guess starters don't count as sleepers, so I won't say the other one. But Josiah Stewart. I think he shocked everybody at Alabama. I think he's going to continue shocking everybody. But my actual sleepers, TJ Guy, and then finally, Moore and Stewart will be Ojabo and Hutchlight. That was literally what I was going for. So thanks to Jay Marion for completely encapsulating what I was going to say. But yeah, I think that second year they've got all this momentum. I could see it. I could absolutely see it. Jay Marion,
the greatest edge duo in Michigan history. So if we do want the greatest defensive line in Michigan history, if they do pull that off, there's no doubt it's going to be the greatest defensive line in Michigan history. But in the chat, give us your sleeper, give us your X, and give us your bold prediction, and we could throw some of those up here if you guys got them. But again, so piggybacking off of our fall camp update, and then going to this defensive line preview. I mean, the defensive line, as I've stated, we appear to have more depth than we anticipated. Yeah, we lost some guys in the draft, but the defense as a whole is actually in quite a good place. And we didn't even talk about the safety transfers. what's his name? My guy Wesley Walker from Tennessee is also. I haven't heard like in terms of like he's playing great, like not like amazing or like, but from my understanding, the safety or the transfers we got in the spring portal, they are all looking the part. Like it's not that they're standing out or like looking to be like like incredible impact players, but they are looking to be depth pieces, and that's great to see. I just think this defense could be pretty nasty. I mean, I think we all know that, but I mean, it might be better than even I thought, just from the indications coming out of camp.
Yep, we got thank you to everybody. I'm posting all the YouTube members who have put stuff in chat here. Thanks to all these. Yeah, Mason Graham top 5 is not impossible. Which normally those words coming out of my mouth for an interior O lineman, it would be almost never that I would say that, but he is
I would
one of
say
a kind.
highly likely top 5 pick, highly likely.
Someone's going to need like a very good IOL. Maybe like a Bengals who always like their quarterback gets nicked up every year. Maybe they go get him like a Bengals or somebody that just has a crap O line that needs to level it up right away.
Defensive tackle? You mean defensive line?
Or yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
defensive line, defensive tackle. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we got a super chat from Moose. He goes, my X factors, Kenneth Grant, sleeper Dominic Nichols, that's a strong sleeper. Bold prediction is Cole Sullivan will start by next season and we'll get playing time this year. So we were looking for a bold prediction for the defensive line, as is a defensive line preview, but bold prediction for the defense. I mean, it's a solid one. I think you're right, Moose. I think Cole Sullivan probably will start next year. I think you could probably bet money on that one.
Thanks, Moose.
Yeah, thanks, Moose. Moose, you are Santa Claus tonight. You are the Oprah. You giving out gifts. You have no competition tonight. Shout out to Moose for carrying it for everybody. We appreciate that, man.
Woo! 77%.
Yeah, I just wanted to
77% of our community has said that this will be a better defense than the 2023 national champion defense.
Yeah, I'm thinking it very well could be, man. I'm thinking, yeah, we're gonna find, especially with Wink now at the helm. I mean, the defenses actually could be more versatile because it has not only coverage disguises, but blitz disguises. I mean, it has another layer to it of complexity for these college quarterbacks. I mean, I'm just so excited to see it, man. I can't wait. And like I'm telling you, the confidence coming out of I can't stress this enough. If I haven't stressed it enough already, the confidence from Wink Martindale and Sharon Moore coming out of Ann Arbor right now about this defense. I mean, they seem extremely confident about this defense.
Yeah. Okay. So a couple of points. I was probably a no on that question, but during this broadcast, I got pumped up and I changed it to a yes in terms of that we can be better than we were last year on defense. That being stated, we do have a tougher schedule, so we could be better, but give up more points. So just kind of keep that in mind too, right? So yeah, that could happen, right? So our schedule is tougher than last year. So,
no question.
Yeah, just wanted to kind of point that out. So, but what about our coaches though? Do you think that we're making a upgrade with our defensive coaches, or is that going to be? Is there a void to fill there, or what do you think?
Well, there's one particular defensive coach we're going to talk about in the recruiting segment, and kind of what his secret might be. So we're going to get to that in a little bit. But any others that might come to mind, TJ?
Well, in terms of coaches, I don't know. It's too hard to tell, right? I got to see it on the field. I mean, it's just, did we think Jesse Minter would be better than Mike McDonald? It happened. Do we think Wink Martindale can be better than Jesse Minter? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'll say this though. I do think, as crazy as this sounds, Lou Esposito might be an upgrade, and Lamar Morgan might be an upgrade. Now, in terms of Brian Jean-Marie and Chris Partridge, I actually think Chris Partridge was the upgrade. It's a damn shame we let him go, man. That was such a strong coach, both off the field and on the field. But yeah, I think Lamar Morgan and Lou Esposito could be upgrades. They seem to be They seem to be great coaches. And not only that, Louis Pozito has a track record of developing defensive linemen that go to the NFL. And Lamar Morgan's very versed in this defense, working with Jesse Minter at Vanderbilt. So that's a high potential. And then we'll just have to see on Wink Martindale. But I want to highlight, we're going to get to Blue Wolverine. Shout out to Blue Wolverine. We're going to get to you, but I want to just, I love battling with Steve here. He goes, 85 Bears, according to TJ. No, F that. It's the 2001 Ravens, son. And get ready for your L in November. But shout out to Blue Wolverine for the $1999 super chat. We appreciate you, man, contributing to the show. Shout out to your son, Micah. Hope he's wearing his Michigan jersey, getting ready for the season. And hell yeah, man. And again, like everyone contributing, whether it be super chat, whether it be super sticker, whether it be membership or gifting a membership, it all means a lot to us. You guys are helping us. You're giving us a lot to be appreciative for. Let's just say that, we have the best community in the game, and it's because of you guys. So shout out to all of you. Even if you are unable to give financial contribution, being in the comments, liking the video, sharing the video, it all means a lot to us. So shout out to all you guys. And also, if you guys could please give us a follow on the audio platforms, give us a review. That really means a lot to us as well. And anything you guys could do to help us out, we'd greatly appreciate it. And